All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. It's 4 after the hour. Can everybody hear me okay? Okay. So welcome back, everybody. Happy New Year to everybody. This is the first trainings for 2023. I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday season with their family and friends. After all, that's what we work for, right? To live and enjoy our family and friends and stuff. I also hope everybody had the opportunity to reflect on their business and their career as a real estate agent, and it's going to make the necessary changes and or additions to their business to make their 2003 more successful. If you haven't, I know I keep saying this, but if you have not had the opportunity or the time to generate a business plan, it's not too late, okay? A business plan can be very, very simple, but it's very, very important. I think it's one of the fundamentals for any business to flourish, to be monitored, and to achieve your goals. So just because you weren't able to start off 2023 without a business plan, you can still do it, okay? If you need help, call me, text me, email me, and I'll guide you through it and stuff. But I think it's very, very important. You got to hold yourself accountable and stuff. So please do so. Today, Michelle was not able to be with us. We're going to reconvene next week for some forums, and I'll be training alongside with her. We have a lot of things in 2003 that we're going to be implementing. There's going to be a lot of training. There's going to be a lot of speakers. So we're very excited. And if any agent has any particular topic they want to go over, please let us know, because that's what we're here for. Okay, we're here for you guys, to educate you guys, to give you all the tools that you need to succeed. Okay. So please email me, text me, or call me. Let me know what you guys want to learn, what topics you need to refine, and we'll make sure that we cover that topic and answer your questions, okay? So I have an open door policy, as does Peter. We want 2023 to be a good 2023, regardless of the uncertainties out there. So give us your feedback. Let us know what you want, and if we can achieve it, we'll achieve it for you. That is our #1 goal. Okay. Today I'm going to go over the Zipform templates on how to better understand where to navigate and where to get it, where to get the forms. Everybody should be using Zipform's broker edition. If you're not, please do so, because Peter and Coldwell Banker pays a lot of money to utilize the broker edition. And by utilizing the Zipform's broker edition and clicking on the actual transaction that you are going to be using, it will automatically give you all the forms that you need or that are required for that transaction. So there's no question about do you have all the forms, or which forms do you need. So it really takes all the question out of it and stuff. But as long as you're using Zipform's broker edition, you'll be able to get all of those proper forms. And then besides that, it's going to have your closing go so much more smoothly, and then you're going to get paid so much faster. So you won't get this email at the very end saying that you're missing this or missing that. You might be missing some signatures, but that's the most part of it and stuff. But all your forms will be in there. I'm also going to be going over Moxi website. Okay, I'm going to show you how to navigate the initial launch of your website. You could utilize this website as in depth as you want, build on it, or you could just use it as a landing page. Okay, but it's very, very important that you have a marketing plan for 2023, because it's all about marketing yourself, right? It's all about branding yourself. It's all about being in front of in front of your prospects or new clients and stuff. So you want to be on above the competition, and that starts with a website. Okay, so it's free of charge to you through Moxi, so you should utilize it and stuff. Every agent has a website. Even more so when you have a listing, you have the capabilities of launching a website for that particular property. So use all the tools that you have available to you. Okay, implement them in your 2023 business plan and marketing plan. Okay, so we'll go over all that. But before we start, I wanted to go over a couple of things before we go into the training. Excuse me. The current state of the real estate industry is not it doesn't look very good. It looks bleak. You hear all these stories on the news about, the housing crisis, the home values are dropping, and sellers are reducing their prices. There's more lawsuits towards real estate agents now. Buyers are falling off. It's just a lot of bad news and stuff. Don't buy into it, okay? If you listen to the news, it's always going to be bad news. Okay, you always have to wake up and have a positive outlook. All of this is going to pass sooner than later. Okay, we might have a first quarter that's not very good. It might even go into the second quarter of 2023, but you have to position yourself today for tomorrow. Okay, what I mean by that is continue to build on your business plan and be in front of your sphere of influence. Okay, because what you do today, you'll feel the fruits of for tomorrow. So you're kind of like planting the seeds. Okay, there's a lot of things you can do to prepare for that, and there's no downfall for that. You're just educating yourself, you're refining yourself. Okay, so wake up in the morning, get dressed, have a plan of attack, and then take the initiative to execute that. So by the end of the day, you've accomplished it. You might not see any benefit at the end of the day, but I guarantee you at one point in time, you're going to see the benefits of your work as long as you stick to your agenda. One of the things that I wanted to bring up that you could strategize in 2023 that I think a lot of residential real estate agents are not necessarily missing the boat, but they just, they don't give it the time or effort, and that's commercial real estate. I'll let Peter chime in on this a little bit as well if he wants to, but commercial real estate is very, very lucrative. I'm learning that very fast. I've personally seen commission checks for one transaction, and I can't name names, and I'm not going to name transactions or anything like that for because I don't I don't want to disclose any information. But personally, I saw in excess of 100, 200, 300, even over $500,000. That's for one transaction. So think about that. Even if it takes you 6 months to become fluent in commercial real estate, and if you can get 1 or 2 transactions per year, that's more than what you would make, generating 20 transactions in residential real estate. So try it out, dive into commercial real estate. Peter and I are going to start beefing up our training in commercial, offering more tools. Coldwell Banker as a corporation is also going to be doing that. 2023, they're launching a lot more tools catered towards the commercial industry. And then also think about this. In commercial real estate, there's far less competition. Yeah, I'm not going to say it's easy. That's an understatement. It is. You do have to learn commercial real estate. It's a entirely different animal than residential. But that doesn't mean that you can't learn it. And if you do learn it, it can be so lucrative for you. But on the flip side is there's far less competition in commercial real estate than there is in residential. So keep that in mind. Food for thought. If you do want to get into commercial real estate, contact me or Peter, and we'll see if we can put you into like a mentor program with one of our other agents that are fluent in commercial, or we'll do whatever it takes to get you built up to become a successful commercial real estate. But that's an option. So basically what I'm trying to say is open up yourself to any opportunities and options to, you know, to do better in real estate in general and stuff. That being said, also is take advantage of all our trainings, my open door policy, all the sessions, CB University, that's CBU on CB Desk. They have so many trainings. Even if you miss something, they're all recorded. You go back and learn. So there's so many tools in your toolbox that you simply just need to utilize them, use them, and implement them into your plan of attack, your daily agenda. And I guarantee you, you're going to be more successful than you are if you do not. Peter, I don't know if you're with us right now. I see you're just a little picture, but if you want to say anything about commercial, let me know. No? Okay. We have any questions so far? David?
Okay, my name is David Hewen. I wanted to speak up because I've been with the firm since March 1st, 2011. I was not successful in residential real estate listing or sales. So I had to take a look at what my options were, and became very clear to me that I needed to take a good hard look at commercial real estate. After I did that, I paid a lot of attention to the resources provided to us at the Arcadia Association of Realtors, the West San Gabriel Valley Association of Realtors, providing CCIM classes. And those classes were absolutely invaluable for me learning commercial real estate. The reason why I support everything you're saying, Jesus, is that when I looked at the market within our own Arcadia area, I discovered that we have 2,300 full-time real estate agents. And then I started counting the number of residential listings that we have at the open houses every Wednesday morning at 8:30. The average was 10 listings a week times 40 a month times 12, 480 to 500 listings annually. But the problem is, of those 500 listings, you got 2,300 full-time agents trying to list 500 listings. The numerical odds of you getting a listing is extremely challenging. However, everyone who's a real estate agent has clients that are interested in acquiring residential commercial real estate. And commercial real estate can be defined as residential income property, which it starts off with a single family home, duplex, triplex, fourplex, okay, or small apartments from 5 to 10. It is a natural for you to just ask your existing clients, would you be interested in acquiring residential income property for retirement? And it's a natural. It's you don't have to spend millions of dollars for a commercial building. You can get started for $500 to $1 million with a duplex, triplex, fourplex. However, you have to educate yourself by the resources now provided by Coldwell Bank. Coldwell Banker Commercial is a wonderful organization if you just use the resources and tools they provided you. If you don't use it, shame on you. If you don't use the resources provided by the West San Gabriel Valley Association of CCIM classes or the Arcadia Association for CCIM classes, it is, the gold is there. The gold is right below your feet. You have to get your shovel out and shovel out the gold.
Right.
Now, you mentioned something about commissions. After two and a half years, when I started in about 2014, I closed 32.6 million in commercial real estate. The firm earned a commission check at 2%, or about 726,000. After all the fees were taken out, I made a check of over 505,000. That's the biggest check I made in my life.
David.
Okay, so the money is there, but you have to pay attention to the training given to you and be willing to work with mentors. Give you an example. Steve Hayashi, I consider one of the best commercial brokers on planet Earth. Steve Hayashi. We also have other brokers here that are absolutely tremendous in commercial real estate. Get to meet them and see if you can work out an arrangement for them to mentor you. That's what all I have to say is it's a great opportunity. And Jesus, you are 1000% correct.
Hey, David, just really quick. Thank you for everything you're saying. But my name is Ruben. first and foremost.
You're not Jesus?
No. It's
You know, the thing over here I'm looking at says Jesus Ferraro. Okay,
yeah.
so you have to have that corrected to Ruben.
Yeah, I changed it to Ruben. But anyways, I thank you for all your comments and stuff. Yeah, you have to. Let me ask you, David, how long would it have taken you to make that commission in residential?
Well, you know, let me just tell you, the average 32,600,000 divided by the average residential transaction of 800,000. That represents 41 residential transactions
So
that I was able to do by finding a client that had a portfolio that needed to be sold.
right. So that would amount to at least a couple of years, unless you're a rock star and you do that in 1 year.
Well, that represents about 4 years of sales, you know, about 10 sales a year. But
so
it's number one, one of the, I'm going to use some humor here, but one of the most important things that I could share with everybody is it's not both the knowledge or the resources that CCIM provides or the knowledge or the resources of Coldwell Banker George Realty or Coldwell Banker Commercial. I found out that there's one ingredient that you have to be successful in commercial real estate. And Peter Cam touched on it in an email. He said every successful real estate broker that he's met, whether it's residential or commercial, has an extreme amount of confidence. I agree with that 100%, but I use a different word for confident. I call it courage. You know, how are you going to find courage in today's pathetic environment? You know how you find courage? I had to go back to my DVD library and pull out a DVD of a movie that came out in the year 2000 and watch it 10 times. That movie was called Gladiator.
yeah.
In many ways, a real estate agent is nothing more than a Roman gladiator. You fight to live one more day. And trust me, it's a battle. So if you don't have courage, forget it. You might as well get out of the business.
Well, right. Thank you, David. On that same note, there's a flip side to courage and it's fear. You have to overcome your fear because if you don't overcome your fear, that's going to overcome you. Yeah, so basically what I was trying to what I want to let everybody know and reiterate is, if residential is tough right now, then make the transition to commercial. Okay, learn about commercial. I'm learning about it. I'm right side by side with you guys. So learn the commercial way, and then market yourself. Okay, you have the ability that most agents don't have the ability to do. This brokerage offers both residential and commercial. Okay, most 99% of the brokerages out there that do residential do not offer commercial real estate. You have that opportunity, so why not embrace that opportunity? Give it the 100% try to tap into that world and stuff. And if you get a transaction, let's talk about fear a little bit. Okay, you learn about it, you think you're ready, you want to market yourself, you have your business cards, you have commercial branding all over, and now you're going to go talk to owners of buildings and shop malls and this and that. Well, you also have the ability to have a mentor, just like David discussed earlier, Steve Hayashi, or one of our other fluent agents that conduct commercial real estate. We could put you in touch with them. And yeah, you're initially not going to make the full commission, but you're going to be under a person's wing. You're going to learn how to navigate through a transaction, how to navigate through opposition, how to calculate all the calculations that you need to in a commercial transaction. So you're going to give up some of your commission, but what you're really paying for is a mentorship. So I wanted to bring this up just because, don't limit yourself just to residential real estate, and don't think that, oh my God, commercial is way out of my league. It's not. People are coming out of college with degrees that have nothing to do with real estate or commercial, and they're diving into it. So if you have the will, we'll find a way. Okay.
Okay. I would like to speak up, Ruben, and mention something very simple. To find a commercial client is one of the easiest things to do. And here's what I found out through this. I call it the school of hard knocks. If you have a residential client that you've done business with and close a deal, just call your client and say, listen, I want to talk to you and find out, number one, do you own any commercial real estate? Like a duplex, triplex, fourplex, a small apartment? Do you own your own office building? If they say yes, say, listen, would you be open to the opportunity for me to do a valuation on your commercial real estate, and I will do it for free? Now, one of the things that I do, and I'll share it with you because it's one of my best trade secrets or business things. I say, you know something, I'm willing to get an MAI appraiser to appraise your commercial real estate and pay for it upfront, with the understanding that if you accept the value of that MAI appraiser, which is the highest level of an appraiser in California, I will pay for that appraisal, but it's only on the condition that I get the listing if you decide to list and sell the property. And number two, that I will be reimbursed for the cost of that MAI appraisal at close of escrow. It is a winning strategy. Number three, I say, listen, Mr. Seller or client, I am willing to put the commission of 4 or 5% on top of the appraised value, and I'm going to get the buyer to pay for the appraisal value, so you get your money out, and the buyer will pay for the commission. It's a winning strategy that I've used time and time again, and it's totally ethical and legal. So
thank you, David. So we want to move on so we can get into these into our topics for training, but I did want to all those strategies are great, but the strategies aren't going to do anything unless you get into commercial real estate. Okay, so that's the number one thing that you have to do. You have to decide to say, you have to tell yourself, okay, look, I'm not going to give up on residential real estate because that's your bread and butter. Okay, you have a lot more people that you can, a lot more prospects than in commercial. But if you have the time right now and you want to learn the other part of residential, then I encourage that, and you should do that, because who knows, that might be your calling. You know, there's a lot of successful agents that made that switch and they're never going back to residential. Okay, so again, it's your business. You're your own boss. We're here just to give you the tools. And that's why I want to offer this to you guys. I want you to know that don't be fearful of something that you don't know. Okay. Commercial real estate is a different animal than residential, but you just have to learn it. That's it. I have to learn it as well. I've never sold a commercial, but I want to, and that's one of my goals. So if that intrigues you and you want to dive into commercial, I'm not saying let go of residential, but if residential is having a slow time right now, see what you can do in commercial. What's it going to hurt? It's going to educate yourself. It's going to refine yourself. It's going to give you more credentials. So I really don't see any downfall. So anyhow, think about that. Food for thought. Okay. And if anybody wants to take it to the next step and dive into commercial, email me, text me, or call me, and we'll schedule a one-on-one to get you on the right path. And then Peter and I are working on more trainings and sessions and speakers, both in residential and commercial, but we really, really want to encourage our agents to dive into commercial. All right, with that, I'm going to go ahead and get started on our training, unless anybody has any other questions, but I really want to go into our Zipforms and our website launch. If you want, we could discuss it afterwards too. Okay. All right. I also have Anna here with me, so she can chime in when she wants to help us understand the Zipforms and the broker templates. Okay. First and foremost, so when you go into Zipforms, you're going to use, Google or Firefox or whatever. I like to keep these favorites up on top. I noticed that a lot of agents continually go in here and type Zipforms or whatever you're searching. If it's something that you're constantly every day going into, like for instance, there's the email, here's the CB desk, which I'm going to go into, Zipforms, the CBGR website, agent login, here's your MLS. It just makes it so much easier. So first thing we're going to go into is Zipforms Plus. Okay, so I have it here as your favorite. You'll notice it goes right into it. Okay, it's very, very easy. Let me log in really quick. And if anybody has any questions please ask. Okay. This is not my computer, so that's the reason why I have to log in. Okay. That might be it. All right. So if you do not use Zipforms Plus Broker Edition, that's where you have to make the first switch and start using Broker Edition. Right, Anna?
Yes.
So
That's the work for you.
yeah, so if you're not using it, this session today is not going to be valuable to you. Okay, I'm doing this because so many times agents come up to us, and Anna could vouch for me, that which forms do I need for a residential lease or for a commercial lease or for a probate? Do I need this form? Do I need that form? We're taking all the guesswork out. Okay, so basically, if you're following what we're telling you to do and use Zipform's broker edition, which we pay for a premium to offer these tools to you, then you'll take out all the guesswork out. Okay, we're still refining all the forms in the broker templates, but I would say by the end of January, it should be 99% accurate with the updated forms. We all know that CAR changed their revised some of the forms and then also added some new forms, which reminds me we're going to be going into that as well in the next couple of trainings and stuff. So don't worry about that, but bear with us. But this is just basically to guide you how to get into Zipforms Plus Broker Edition and then navigate through the templates. Okay, so you all know how I got into Zipforms, pretty basic. Make sure it's the broker edition. Right here it says, you know, the broker right there, you see? Okay, and then let me dive into it. So if this looks familiar to you, that means you're using broker edition. If it doesn't look familiar to you, that means you need to use this version, okay? So when you're in broker edition, you would always click new, okay? That's a new transaction that you want to create, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and click new, and then it'll pop up whether it's a lease listing, a new lease, new purchase, or a listing. For the sake of today, what do you want to do? A new listing, Anna? We're going to do a new listing, okay? So you enter the name. So I discussed this with Anna yesterday, and it's easier for everybody if you enter the name as the property address, okay? So don't put the borrower's name or the seller's name. Reference it by the actual address. So for this sake, I'm just going to put a familiar address. Okay, so I put the address there, and then over here, you're going to have to duplicate it. I do want to mention one thing that Anna brought to my attention yesterday. If you're doing a listing and you're naming it 3780 Mayfair Drive for the sake of this example, and then it's going to be, you're going to create another, and then let's just say you're double ending it, and you have to go back into Zipforms to create an RPA for the borrower, right? So you would go into a new transaction, but you're going to be creating a purchase agreement versus a listing agreement, right? But it's the same transaction. So what you would do is change the drive to DR, okay? But you want to keep it this, you want to maintain the same type of naming it, which is the address. So you're going to know, everybody's going to know that the drive spelled out is going to be the listing and the DR would be the RPA. Now this only comes into play when you're double ending it, okay? When there's two templates for the same transaction. Does that make sense? Okay. So don't, Zipform's Record Connect, don't play with that. They'll charge you to import some information stuff. So just skip that. Don't check that Zipform Record Connect, okay? You don't need to do anything there. Okay, so in this case, we're gonna do a residential, it's a residential listing agreement. So the status here, okay? This status means the status of your transaction. So it's an active transaction because you're going to be listing the property. Okay, you're actively with that prospect or client and stuff. This does not constitute that it's active listing. Okay, so it's not a pending listing or a prospect. It's an active transaction. Okay, so right here where you see select template, if you are not in a broker edition, you're not going to even have this option right here. Is that correct, Anna? So if, What's that?
They would go directly to car, yeah.
Yeah, so it would go directly to the car, and in there you would have to actually pick every form that you would possibly need. So by doing this, Anna has put this together for all of our agents, and you just look. So this is going to be a residential listing. So if you click on residential listing, right, you could put comments if you like, but for the sake of today, I'm just going to leave it like that. So you see, I picked residential listing. I'm going to save it. Now it's saving the transaction. Oh, I think I created one yesterday, but it's okay. I went through the whole process again, just so you guys can see it. Just give it a second. So now we're in it created the transaction, right? And now we're in the transaction. So if you go to documents, right? Check that out. All your documents are in there. Now, keep in mind, so here's your input to the form for the CRMLS. You have a cover sheet here. Let me just click onto this cover sheet because I think it's a very good tool. If you click onto the cover sheet, the more information that you put into your cover sheet, the less you're going to have to put into all your forms. It's going to translate into all your forms. So I would highly recommend filling this out to as much as you can, so that way you don't have to fill it out redundantly in all the forms. Okay, so let's go back to forms. So all these forms here are the forms that you will potentially be required to use to get executed. Okay, so I said potentially because we put a lot of them in here that might not need to be used. So just because it's in this template does not mean that you're required to use it. So that's where, your experience or your knowledge or your education will come into play to know, or you just simply call me or Anna and we'll tell you. But for the most part, any form that would be required would be in this template.
You know your type.
Come over here.
You will know your type of transaction, so you should know what documents you need. If there is an exception, then you take that document, the extra document, but maybe it doesn't belong to a city that requires an inspection. Maybe you do not want to put it on the Chinese ad. So you have to go down and you need to decide which document applies to your transaction. Once you've done that, then you know what documents you need. But normally the basic is the ones that you need, so you just check all the boxes for the ones that you need. Yeah, the cover sheet is very helpful because the more you put there, the more goes into your document, the less typing you have to do later on or input any information. And it's more accurate that way. I find that if you're not using the cover sheet, you do have more, it could be more easily for you to have a typed word or so on. But yeah, again, this is a list of what documents you could use, but you need to determine which ones apply to your transaction.
Did that all make sense? So we're taking 90% of the guesswork out. Okay. Oh my God, what forms do I need for a commercial listing or for a land purchase? That's something that, most agents don't really, have fluent knowledge about, right? So if you clicked on that template, which is a land purchase, it's going to give you all the forms. It's going to give you the proper purchase agreement for land and all the documents that are required or can potentially be required for that transaction and stuff. So that was our main goal. So that way you can rest at ease that once you get into this broker template of the type of transaction that you want to utilize, then most of the forms are going to be there. you don't, not all of them you're going to use. Like, for instance, I'll give you some examples, let's see, non-foreign status. There's one here for the city of Los Angeles. Not all transactions are going to require a 9A report, DWP, or if you don't want to advertise it on the Chinese newspaper, or maybe you don't need a sign because of the seller doesn't want to put a sign up. Whatever it is, the specifics of the transaction will dictate which forms you will be required or you will need. But for the most part, all your forms that are required or need will be in this template. Okay. Does that make sense to everybody? Yes. Okay.
Hey, Ruben, I have a question, Jeffrey.
Yes, Jeffrey.
Yeah, let's say I'm starting my I need all those templates, those important templates, in the document. How can I have those important templates in my document if I haven't started my listing yet? So I need to probably create a false listing or what, or just to have, I need to have those important templates.
So templates or forms?
The forms.
Well, so what I just did today was generating a listing. I was gonna create all the forms to present to the listing, to the seller for them to sign. So if the seller signs and agrees to and executes all my documents, then it becomes a listing. That's a whole different process. What I was trying to teach you, or what I'm showing you, is where to go to get the templates for your type of transaction. So if you're using Broker Edition, Zipform's Broker Edition, and you go to the template of the type of transaction that you are trying to get forms for, that template will have the forms for that type of transaction. Does that make sense?
Got you.
Okay.
Thank you. Great.
You're welcome. Okay. So I just wanted to show you that. All the templates are there. Let me just go to templates really quick. See, if you go to templates, you'll see them all here. Residential income listing, residential listing, multi, a vacant land listing, commercial listing, a short sale, residential income property, vacant. They're all there. Okay. And it took a long time. I don't know how many months it took you to put this together for you. And what it does, it takes all the guesswork out. So you just click on the template you want. And I'm not saying it's foolproof. There might be a document here or there that is required. Maybe the other broker has a special form that they require, or so forth, or there might be singles here and there and stuff. For the most part, 99% of the time, 99% of the forms, the guesswork's taken out. So Anna wants to say something.
Just to let you know, the only place you go touch templates is when you're creating your transaction under new. Other than that, you do not touch templates, okay? Because if you touch that, you change the template for everything, okay? So the only person authorized to touch anything on those templates is either Ruben or I, or Peter, okay? I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah, because it did take a long time for her to put this together and stuff. And I thank you, Anna, for that. Okay, so there's another place you can get a list. Okay, maybe you don't have access to Zipforms, or you just want to get a list. Maybe you like to have it on paper and stuff. Let me go to this. So if you are not familiar with our Coldwell Banker George Realty website agent login, it's like a back door to the actual company website, then you're missing out. Okay. So again, I have it here as a favorite, right? So what I would do is open up a new window, click on the favorite, and this will automatically sign me into the agent website. Okay. See, it says welcome agents. This is just for agents. This is not for the public. Okay. Coldwell Banker George Realty has a website for the public. This is for our agents. Okay. So under agent resources, okay, you click on agent resources. We still have to clean this up a little bit, right, Anna? I'm working with Rhett to do that, but for the most part, it has everything that you could possibly need for a transaction or to, you know, like for instance, how to start your CB desk at Coldwell Banker email. So it's some of the stuff is going to be very minimal and not important to you, and some things will be very helpful to you and stuff. But I wanted to bring this up because if you scroll all the way down to see where it has all this all these information right here, property management, which, and help me out here, where is it? Oh, right here. So CBGR forms, SkySlope checklist, okay? So if you go to agent login, which is right here, that's where you would go, cbgeorgerealty.com/agent/resources, okay? If you need help with that later on, I can help you guys. Then you click on the SkySlope checklist, and then you're gonna have two options for listings and for sales, okay? So let's just go ahead and let's click on sales because we did listings. It's gonna open up a Google Drive spreadsheet, right? And right here, you have business opportunity. I can't move, oh yeah, I could move it, okay. So business, if you see the tabs on the bottom, you see there's a project, new home build, residential income, residential lease. Let's click on the regular, typical one, right? Because most of our agents are going to be doing the basic residential purchase or sale, right? So if you click on it, you can print this if you want to print it, or just refer to it, come back to it through the agent website, and then it'll give you a list of all the documents, okay? These are all the documents that you will potentially be required to use or be executed. Now, keep in mind that there's some with asterisks, okay? I'll let Anna come up here and explain those to you, okay? Very important. So don't think, oh my God, there's 100 or what is it, 72 forms that I need. Well, no, there isn't. It's just, we're crossing our T's and dotting our I's to give you the best tools that you can possibly get to have everything done properly.
On SkySlope, on your checklist, you have two sections. One section on the top is sales documentation. Those are your disclosures. Those are where the listing agent and the selling agent are liable to obtain and get all signatures and sent to us. Anything that has an asterisk means that if applicable. For instance, your AC agent confirmation, a lot of times under your confirmation, say the RPA under section 2B, where you write who's the selling agent, who's the listing agent, who's the broker for each, and then you check a box to say who your representative. If you fail to do any of that information, then now you're obligated to do an AC agency confirmation. So that's what we say, if applicable. I think you all know how important that section is, and you don't want to cost yourself more work. So if you are doing the RPA, you want to make sure it's done correctly. If you're the listing agent and somebody gives you the RPA with not checking the box or not writing your DRE number or not saying who the selling agent is, then you need to say, well, now you need to provide me an AC. And when you get an AC, you need to provide all the information that's requested under 2B, and you need to get everybody's signatures from the clients to the agents. So you definitely don't want to cause yourself that extra work. So anything with an asterisk is if it's applicable to that transaction. I have a CBC, cooperating broker conversation, and I'm in parentheses saying if no MLS, then you need this document. But if it's on the MLS, then you don't need the document. And so on. And going down, you have the Coldwell Banker George Realty Addendum. That document is so important that you get up front. So you want to get it while you're married and before you divorce the client. Because if not, later on, they're not going to want to sign anything paying for the $295, and it's now going to become your obligation and it's going to be deducted from your commission. So you really want to get your clients to sign that so we could get it all collected at escrow from your client and not deducted from you. But so if you scroll down, then you have another section that says closing documents. That's everything we need from escrow. And again, it applies. Maybe you don't have termite report. Maybe that's not part of your RPA, then that is not applicable. So at that point, when I get your transaction, I will review your RPA. And if it's not applicable, I will change it to not applicable. Let's talk about the AS, the FERPTA, the seller affidavit and QS qualified substitute. If the seller gives you a FERPTA, but they do not disclose a PIN number or social security number, then now you have to do a QS, and the selling agent needs to prepare it, send it to escrow to sign, and then get the buyer's signature on that. Maybe you don't have buyer's approval of HOA because it's not a condo. So you see there's an asterisk there. So if it's applicable. Same thing with the city report. I put an asterisk there. Maybe it's not applicable. If you don't think it's applicable and I know it's applicable, I will let you know. So there won't be a problem with that. And then you have the NHG report, you have the preliminary title, termite. Again, if it's not applicable, at that point, I will suggest, okay, then if it's not on the RPA, but if it's on the RPA and you decide later on to waive it, then I'm going to ask for BIW. We upload the MLS printout to make sure it was changed to pending or active under contract. What I do notice a lot of times that I go in there and I get the printout and I notice it still shows active. So I will notate that it still shows active for you. But this list is very helpful. This gives you an idea of what you need. And again, you know your transaction, so you need to make the decision what applies and what doesn't apply. But I have a checklist for every single possible transaction, and you're just able to go into this system, our website, and just go out there and get the list. You could print it, you could copy and paste it. So you could put it under your own documents and save it under your computer. It's very manageable to work with. But again, we have it on everything. Referrals, projects. Projects is more something that I work, but everything else normally applies to you. Any questions?
So the more you fill out the forms, let's say for instance on an RPA, the more you fill it out completely, the less you're going to have to do afterwards. So that's why it's important. Just make sure you fill it out as thorough as you can possibly do it. It's going to save your time, her time, get you paid faster. Okay. Okay. So if we don't have any questions for that, any questions on that? It might seem overwhelming. Don't get overwhelmed. We'll guide you through it. Don't worry. But I just wanted, the whole purpose of today, for this part of today, is just to show you that if you're questioning which forms to use for what type of transaction, it's done. You just have to navigate to it, which is either through the agent website, the agent login website for CVGR, which is where we're at right now, or through the broker edition Zipforms. Okay, so let me close this up, and we're running out of time, so I want to briefly go into the next part of today. So we went over Zipforms and the agent login. Okay, if anybody has any questions later on for that, just email me, text me, or call me, and I'll go over it with you. So really quick, this is very, very important. Okay, I can't reiterate why an agent does not have a personal agent website. Okay, this is your resume. You know, for the public's eye, they're going to look for you on the internet. They're going to see if you have a website, if you have a Google page, if you have a Facebook business page. That is your resume. That is going to determine whether you get the business or not. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's a friend or family, but in the public's eye, the general public's eye, your social media or public imprint is your resume. So at the very least, it's free. Coldwell Bank, you pay for it through your franchise fee. And it's a great tool. It does 95% of the work for you. You just have to launch it. So I cannot fathom why an agent does not have a website, because they should. It's free. And I'm going to show you right now how easy it is. Okay. So you log on to CB Desk. Okay. Again, I have a shortcut right here. Okay. So that way I can easily, I'm into CB Desk every day, probably the majority of the day. Okay. Let's see if it logs me in. Let's see. Let me move this. It looks like it logged me in automatically. Okay. But you would have to log in. Once you log in, again, you have your tiles. Oh, one thing I wanted to add, brand serve right here is where you would get all your logos. So if you need a Coldwell Banker logo, Coldwell Banker George Realty logo to put into your website or in your signature page of your Google, of your email or Google, wherever, this is where you get it. Okay. Everybody should have a headshot as well. Okay. So then you would go into Moxi Works. Okay. So I'm going back to the website. Moxi Works is where you would go. Okay. You click on Moxi Works. It's going to open up a new window, new browser. And then this is what's going to show up. Okay. I already launched my website, so it's not going to take me to where you actually have to agree to terms. So if it's your first time logging into CB Desk or Moxi or even your website to launch it, you might see a little different page in the beginning because you have to accept and agree to terms. Okay. But eventually this is how it's going to look. Okay. And then you would have all your apps right here: present, engage, website, impress, promote. And we're going to go over all of this coming year. We're going to train extensively in every aspect of Moxi because it's a phenomenal, and again, it's a free tool for you guys. Okay. But for the sake of today and the time restraint that we have, I'm just basically going to go over the website. Okay. So once you're in here, just make sure all this information is accurate. Ruben Perez, agent. Make sure the MLS, this is very important. When you click on the MLS, make sure there is an MLS, your MLS information in here, the CRMLS, and then there's my credentials right there. Okay. If it's not, you need to come see me, because it's not going to communicate with your MLS and it's not going to import listings, and your client will not be able to search for properties on your website. And that's what you want. You want to engage your clients or prospects or the public for that matter. When they go onto your website, you want them to play around with it, right? You want them to engage with your website, search it. They have the capabilities of searching the MLS through your website. Okay. So now you would click on website. Again, we're just going over website today. We'll go over all the other portions of Moxi as we go through our trainings throughout the year and stuff. So again, you're eventually going to get to this page every single time that you go into the website portion of Moxi. But initially, if you have not launched your website, you're going to see a little different page because you have to accept and agree to the terms. Once you do that, eventually you're going to get to this page. Okay. Once you get to this page, you have it's very easy to navigate through. It gets a little bit more technical when you get to like links, blogs, comments, settings, and imagery, but you can edit and customize your website. You can add pages, you can build pages. Sky's the limit. Okay. But again, you have to be savvy and technical or hire someone to do that. But for the most part, it's already done for you. At the very least, very least, you have a landing page where your clients can go to and see that you're real, that you have a website, and they can search properties through there. And actually they can communicate with you through your website and also You could get leads through your website as well. So again, all this you can customize, okay? Once you go to like your style, let's just so personalize the style of your website, right? When you click on that, always put the company default, okay? Because unless you're luxury, then you click on luxury, okay? But you have to have those credentials to become a Coldwell Banker Global Luxury, okay? So company default. And then I always do agent focused, because you're not focusing, the purpose of this website is not to focus on someone to search for properties. The whole purpose of this website is for focused on you. So that way they know they can go to your website and they can communicate with you, or that's what you want. You want the exposure for you, not for the company and not for the search engine, okay? So that's what I always do. But here you can add imagery, color, change the color, you could do anything. So when you initially go through all this, or you don't have to do anything to it. You can just strictly go to the very bottom and you see where it says publish, click on that. It's live. That's it. That's all you have to do. Okay. If you want to play with it a little bit and you need some help, as much as the technology I can help with, schedule a time with me and I can help you. We'll do it like a 30-minute and we'll fine tune it a little bit. But for the most part, if you scroll down and you hit publish, I'll do it again. So mind you, every time you make a change, you have to republish it, okay? So don't forget that. If you do some changes and you don't hit publish, it's not going to make, you have to publish every single time you make a change, you have to republish it. Basically, it's just updating it, okay? But once you publish it, you go to the very top right corner and it says visit site, okay? Click on that. There's my website. This is exactly what the consumer is going to see without this administrative little label right here, okay? Exactly what they're going to see. They can hit contact me and they call or email. They can search properties. Let me see, San Fernando, right, USA. Click on that, search. I hope everybody can see. I have these little bars all over the place. So now they're searching. They could go in, say, oh, you know what? Let me draw a circle, and then they're going to draw a circle. They can do whatever they want to do. This is for them to play with. Okay. The whole purpose of this is for them to be on your website. Okay. And there's we'll get later on, we'll get into it, but there's reports that you can go to see who's been on your website and for how long and what did they search. So that way, at least, you know, you can get a feel for, oh, clients are going onto my website. They're not, you know. I'll show you another trick too right now, but I just wanted to show you. So here's some homes in San Fernando. I just put San Fernando just for the sake of it, right? So they're searching it. They click on it. They can filter right here, any filters they want. And then if they click on it, it takes them to the details for the property. And then what keeps popping up, never goes away, is you right here. You see that? Okay. So again, it's an easy tool to launch. Every agent should have one. If you don't already have one, there's no reason for you not to have one. So for everybody that's on our session today, launch it today. Okay, it's easy. I'm going to guide you. I'm going to go through it one more time really quick so you can see how to get into it. But before I do that, if you go to visit site, this is your domain right here. So if you copy and paste that, you copy this and you put it into your email signature line or any type of communication. When they click on that, as long as you save it as a link, right? When they click on that, it's going to send them straight to your website. Or if you want to put that link into something else that you want to forward to this website, eventually this is their landing page. This is where this is the end result. Okay. And that's what you want. You want them to come to this. Okay. So does that make sense to anybody? Anybody have any questions so far? Okay, so I'm gonna go over it one more time, just navigate through it. There's CB Desk. We all know how to log into CB Desk. You go into Moxi, right? Now it's gonna launch Moxi. You go into my website. A little slow. There we go. Scroll all the way up. You go to homepage. I'm sorry, where is it? There we go. Go to any of the and then you publish it. And it's live. You have a website. Okay. One last thing. We've been having some issues with Moxi and CB Desk. So if you are running into issues with Moxi or CB Desk, or if you have some incorrect information, you may not be able to edit that information or even change your headshot or update something. Let me know, because there's some administrative tools that only Peter and I can do for you and stuff. But try it out, navigate through it, launch your website today. Okay. I think that's it for today. I want to thank everybody for coming in. Hang in there. One last thing. Walking into the training today, you know, I feel like a lot of agents are down on themselves because, you know, it's hard to get business right now. It is. There's no, everybody's like that. And I want to reiterate to everybody that it's not you, okay? Even the most successful, I have a lot of successful realtors and other people in the industry right now that even affiliates that are feeling the pinch. They've never seen it like this before. So I want you to not be down on yourself and refocus your energy into a positive aspects of it, and encourage yourself and refine yourself during this period, get more knowledge. So that way, when in the next quarter or second quarter, when things hopefully start to change and stuff, you're ready for it. You're ready for it. Your mind is ready for it, and your business is ready for it and stuff. But don't discourage yourself by thinking that that it's you that's doing something wrong. The only thing that you could be doing wrong is not doing anything at all. Okay, so wake up, get a good mindset, and just attack your agenda and stuff. Okay, so I'll open it up to any questions that you guys might have before we end the session. All right. Well, I thank everybody. Peter, did you want to say anything? I don't know if Peter's still on board. No. David, thank you for your input as well. Okay. All right, guys, thank you. I'll see you guys next Friday. I hope you got some value out of today's session. And again, we'll be back next week with some forums, and then we'll go for we'll follow up with Moxi training. Okay. All right, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye.
All right.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.